Welcome all. In last lecture we have seen bidirectional shift registers and universal shift registers. Today we will see the ring counter, which is a application of shift register. This circuit, the circuit is shown, which is very similar to that of serial input, serial output register with right shift mode. The only difference is that this last output of flip-flop, that is Q3, is connected back to the input of first flip-flop, that is to the D0 input of the flip-flop. And with this construction, whatever data is available in the register flows like a ring structure. Therefore, this circuit is called as a ring counter. Now, a low input signal is connected to the preset input of flip-flop 0 and to the clear input of flip-flop 1, 2, 3. Because of this connection, the output of flip-flop 0 will get set, and whereas the output of flip-flop 1, 2, 3 will get resetted. These are the outputs of flip-flops before the operation gets starts. Now once the outputs are set to 0, 0, 0, 1, the clear terminal is made inactive by applying a high level to it. A common clock signal is applied to all the flip-flops by which their output gets changed simultaneously, and all the D flip-flops which are used in the circuits are negative age triggered D flip-flop. So now we will start with the operation. On the first negative edge of the clock, what will happen we will discuss in this slide. Before the application of clock pulse, the outputs are 0, 0, 0, 1. I will write the outputs of each flip-flop. Q3 is 0, Q2 is 0, Q1 is 0 and Q0 is 1. Now we will see what will happen after the first negative edge of the clock pulse. Before that, we will see the D inputs of each flip-flop from their previous outputs. Here Q3 is 0, therefore D0 will be 0, Q0 is 1, D1 will be 1, Q1 is 0, D2 will be 0, Q2 is 0, D3 will be 0. So after the application of first negative edge of the clock, we will get Q output with respect to their D input for each flip-flop. As here D0 is 0, Q0 will be 0, D1 is 1, Q1 will be 1, D2 is 0, Q2 will be 0, D3 is 0, Q3 will be 0. So after the first negative edge of the clock pulse, the Q outputs are 0, 0, 1, 0. That is Q3, Q2, Q1, Q0 are 0, 0, 1, 0. Now we will see what will happen at the second negative edge of the clock. Before the application of clock, outputs are 0, 0, 1, 0, means Q3 is 0, Q2 is 0, Q1 is 1 and Q0 is 0. From this we can have various D inputs. Here Q3 is 0, D0 will be 0, Q0 is 0, D1 will be 0, Q1 is 1, D2 will be 1, Q2 is 0, D3 will be 0. Now based on this we will get respective outputs at the second negative edge of the clock. As here D0 is 0, Q0 will be 0, Q1 will be 0 as D1 is 0, Q2 will be 1 as D2 is 1, Q3 will be 0 as D3 is 0. Therefore, after second negative edge of the clock, we will get output as 0, 1, 0, 0. Now we will see the operation on the third negative edge of the clock pulse. the previous outputs are 0 1 0 0, means Q3 is 0, Q2 is 1, Q1 is 0 and Q0 is 0. Before the application of third negative edge, we will see the outputs of the D inputs of each flip flop. Here Q3 is 0, D0 will be 0, Q0 is 0, D1 will be 0, Q1 is 0, D2 is 0, Q1 is 1, D3 will be 1. After the third negative edge of the clock, we will get outputs with respect to their D inputs. Therefore, this Q0 will be 0, Q1 will be 0, Q2 will be 0 and Q3 will be 1. So, after third negative edge of the clock pulse, we will get the output as 1 0 0 0. Now, we will see the operation on the fourth negative edge of the clock pulse. Before the application of fourth negative edge, the outputs are 1 0 0 0, means Q3 is 1, Q2 is 0, Q1 is 0, Q0 is 0. From this we can have various D inputs. Here Q3 is 1, D0 will be 1, Q0 is 0, D1 1, Q1 is 0, D2 will be, now here Q0 is 0, D1 will be 0, Q1 is 0, D2 will be 0, Q2 is 0, D3 will be 0. Now based on these inputs, we will get respective outputs. Q0 as 1, Q1 as 0, Q2 as 0 and Q3 as 0. So after fourth negative edge of the clock pulse, we can have the output as 0 0 0 1. Now these are the outputs from where we have started, hence the operation repeats from this point onwards for the rest of the negative edges of the clock pulse. So if we observe that the data is flowing through this register like a ring structure, therefore this counter is called as a ring counter. Now in this, the summary of operation is shown in this table, and with respect to that these waveforms are drawn. These 1 2 3 4 indicates the negative edges of the clock pulse, and at every negative edges of the clock pulse their respective output waveform have been shown in this diagram. Now the ring counters are used where several operations are to be controlled in a sequential manner. For example, in resistance welding, the operations called squeeze, hold, weld and off are to be performed sequentially. So for this we can use the ring counter to perform all these operations. Now after that we will see the twisted ring counter, which is also called as a Johnson's ring counter. In the ring counter which we have seen earlier, in that output of last flip flop, that is flip flop 3, connected directly to the input of first flip flop, that is Q3 was connected to D0 input, but instead that in this ring counter the outputs are cross coupled to the inputs, that is instead of connecting Q3 to D0, Q3 complements gets connected to D0, or in this circuit JK flip flop is used. Therefore in this the Q3 output is connected to K0 input, whereas Q3 complement output is connected to J0 input. This is how the outputs are cross coupled to their initial inputs. 4 JK flip flops are used in these circuits, in which output of previous flip flops are connected as an input to the next flip flop, and output of last flip flops are cross coupled to the inputs of first flip flop. All the flip flops are negative edge triggered and a common clock pulse is applied, therefore the outputs of all the flip flops gets changed simultaneously. So before we start the operation, here if you observe, a low level input signal is applied to the clear input terminal of all the flip flops, by which outputs of all the flip flops becomes 0. Therefore before the application of clock pulse the outputs are 0 0 0 0. Now here as Q3 is 0, the K0 will become 0, and as Q3 is 0, Q3 complement will be 1, by which J0 will become 1. Now we will see the operation at the first negative edge of the clock pulse. Before that I will write the previous outputs of each flip-flop. Now here Q3 is 0, by which Q0 will become 0. Q3 is 0, therefore Q3 complement will be 1, which is connected to J0 input, therefore J0 input will be 1. So before the application of the first negative edge, we should know all the JK inputs of each flip-flop. So for this JK inputs are 1 0. For the flip-flop 1, Q0 is 0, J1 will be 0, K1 will be 1. For this flip-flop, as Q1 is 0, J2 will be 0, K2 will be 1. For this flip-flop, as Q2 is 0, J3 will be 0, K3 will be 1. So after the application of first negative edge, we will get output with respect to their JK inputs. Now for the first flip-flop, that is flip-flop 0, the J and K inputs are 1 0, therefore their output will get set as a 1. As we already studied, when JK inputs are 1 0, their outputs will get set, therefore Q0 will becomes 1. And to all the three flip-flops, the J and K inputs are 0 1, therefore their outputs will get resetted, therefore we will get Q1 as a 0, Q2 as a 0, and Q3 as a 0. So after first negative edge of the clock pulse, we will get output as a 0 0 0 1. Next we will see what will be the output at second negative edge of the clock pulse. Before that we will write the output status before the application of clock pulse. Here Q3 is 0, Q2 is 0, Q1 is 0, and Q0 is 1. So from this we have to write JK inputs of each flip-flop. Here as Q3 is 0, K0 will become 0. Q3 is 0, therefore Q3 complement will be 1, therefore J0 will become 1. Now for the second flip-flop, Q0 is 1, therefore J1 will be 1, K1 will be 0. Q1 is 0, therefore J2 will be 1. J2 will be 0, K2 will be 1. And for last flip-flop, as Q2 is 0, J3 will be 0, K3 will be 1. So after the second negative edge of the clock, the flip-flop 0 gets set, that is Q0 will become 1. Flip-flop 1 will get set, that is Q1 will become 1. As the inputs of flip-flop 0 and flip-flop 1 are 1 0, whereas the outputs of flip-flop 2 will get resetted and flip-flop 3 will get resetted as their JK inputs are 0 1. So after the second negative edge of the clock pulse, we will get output as a 0 0 1 1. So in the same way, the summary of the operation is shown in this table. We have seen these two cases. For third negative edge, what will be the output is shown in this. We can have the outputs as shown in this table. So after 8th negative edge of the clock pulse, we will get the initial state which we have considered. So in general we can say that the number of states of twisted ring counter is twice the number of flip-flops used in the circuits. Means in this circuit 4 flip-flops are used, therefore we have got the 8 distinct outputs of the counter. Means if we would have used 2 flip-flops, then we would have got the 4 output states. Now based on this summary, the waveforms are drawn. These are the signals for output lines. This is the clock pulse and this is the clear input terminal, which is used to have the initial outputs of the each flip-flop. So this is how we have completed the register part of this unit 4. From next lecture we will have the counter part from the sequential circuit. Thank you.